Imagine standing at the edge of your life, staring at everything you've ever dreamed of, but feeling like it's just out of reach. You wonder why some people rise effortlessly while you're stuck, spinning your wheels, frustrated and exhausted. What if I told you the secret isn't luck, talent, or connections? What if the reason you haven't reached your highest potential is staring right back at you in the mirror? The truth is simple, yet most people ignore it. Until you focus on yourself completely, nothing else will work. This isn't about working harder or wishing for a better life. This isn't about shortcuts, hacks, or pretending to be someone you're not. This is about a journey so raw, so relentless, and so real that it will challenge every excuse you've ever told yourself. Every failure you faced, every doubt that's haunted you, every moment of fear, it's all fuel, waiting for you to ignite it with action. In the next few minutes, you're going to discover the exact mindset, habits, and principles that turn ordinary people into unstoppable winners. Principles that make success inevitable. Principles that will force you to look inward, take control, and rise, no matter what stands in your way. By the time you finish this, you'll either step into a new version of yourself or stay where you are, wondering what could have been. But for those who dare to focus, who dare to commit, who refuse to quit, this is the blueprint to win, not someday, but now. Are you ready to stop blaming the world and start winning with yourself? Then keep listening, because everything that follows will demand your attention, challenge your comfort, and push you closer to the life you've always deserved. The power of taking responsibility. Your life truly begins to change the very moment you stop pointing fingers and start looking within. As long as you blame your past, your family, your circumstances, or the people who hurt you, your life remains trapped in the same loop, repeating the same stories. But the day you stand in front of your own truth and say, whatever happens next is my responsibility, a new kind of strength awakens inside you. Responsibility doesn't mean everything is your fault. It simply means you now choose to respond with power instead of excuses. It means you stop waiting for others to fix your life and start building it with your own hands. When you take responsibility, you quietly shift from being a victim of life to the creator of your future. You begin to see that every choice you make, every habit you repeat, every thought you allow inside your mind is shaping your tomorrow. And slowly, without anyone noticing, you rise above your old patterns. Your confidence grows, your clarity sharpens, and your self-respect increases, because deep down you know you are finally in control. Responsibility is not a burden, it is the greatest freedom you can give yourself. It opens the door to growth, to healing, and to a life where you no longer wait for miracles. You become the miracle.
Why focusing on yourself is the greatest form of strength. People often say that focusing on yourself is selfish, as if choosing your own growth, peace, and healing is a crime. But the truth is, self-focus is not selfish, it is survival, and it is the foundation of every transformation you will ever experience. When you constantly give your energy to others, trying to please everyone, trying to fix everyone, trying to meet expectations that are not even yours, you slowly lose pieces of yourself. You start feeling empty, tired, disconnected, and misunderstood. But the moment you turn inward and say, "Let me take care of me first," your life begins to rise. Because when you heal your wounds, you stop bleeding on people who didn't hurt you. When you elevate your mindset, you stop accepting the things that once kept you small. When you work on your habits, your discipline, your emotional strength, the world around you naturally rearranges itself. Your relationships improve, your opportunities expand, your confidence grows, not because the world changed, but because you changed. You cannot pour from an empty cup, and you cannot save others when you're drowning yourself. The most powerful thing you can ever do is to choose yourself. understand yourself, and invest in your own becoming. When you focus on you, you don't become selfish. You become someone capable, grounded, peaceful, and strong enough to face life without breaking. Focusing on yourself is not abandoning others. It is returning home to who you truly are. Discipline is the silent force that turns dreams into reality. Dreams give you direction, talent gives you a starting push, but it is discipline that takes you all the way to the finish line. Discipline is the quiet, everyday effort that no one sees but everyone admires when the results finally appear. It is waking up even when you don't feel like it, showing up when motivation is missing, and doing the small tasks again and again until they shape your future. Talent may open the first door, but discipline builds the entire path ahead. Without discipline, dreams remain beautiful ideas floating in your mind, exciting to imagine but impossible to touch. But the moment you bring discipline into your life, your dreams shift from imagination to daily action. They become something you work on step by step, even when progress feels slow. Discipline gives you consistency, and consistency creates breakthroughs. It teaches you patience, commitment, and resilience. It makes you stronger than your excuses and bigger than your distractions. And what's truly magical is this: the more disciplined you become, the more freedom you create for yourself. Freedom from regret, freedom from fear, freedom from a life half-lived. Discipline is not punishment, it is self-respect. It is the promise you make to your future self. And every time you keep that promise, you move one step closer to the life you dream of living. Habits are the invisible architecture of your future. Goals are powerful. They give you direction to move toward, a vision that excites your heart, and a target that guides your energy. But goals alone cannot transform your life. It is your habits, the quiet routines you repeat every single day, that slowly shape the person you become and the future you eventually live in. Your habits are like invisible hands, sculpting your mindset, your discipline, your confidence, and your success one small action at a time. You can dream of becoming healthier, but it's your daily eating and exercising habits that decide it. You can dream of becoming successful, but it's your learning, working, planning, and consistency habits that make it real. Even one small habit, like reading 10 pages, waking up early, journaling your thoughts, practicing gratitude, or focusing for just 1 hour, can create a massive difference when repeated over months and years. Success is rarely built on big dramatic moments. It grows quietly through small behaviors done repeatedly, even when no one is watching. Your habits become your identity becomes your actions, and your actions build your future. So instead of only asking, "What is my goal?" also ask, "What habit am I practicing daily that moves me toward that goal?" Because in the end, your future will not reflect your goals, it will reflect your habits.
You are becoming, not defined. Never let your current situation trick you into believing that this is who you are forever. Your present condition, no matter how difficult, confusing, or painful, is only a temporary chapter, not your whole identity. Too many people limit their future by repeating sentences like, "I am like this," "I can't change," or "this is just who I am." But the truth is, you are not a fixed personality. You are a constantly evolving human being, always learning, always growing, always becoming. Your identity is powerful because it silently writes your destiny. When you say, "I am weak," your actions follow that identity. When you say, "I am unlucky," you stop trying. But when you shift your words to, "I am becoming stronger," "I am improving," "I am learning," everything inside you begins to transform. Your mind starts searching for growth instead of excuses.
Your heart opens to change instead of fear. Your actions rise higher than your circumstances. Remember, your identity should reflect your potential, not your situation. You are not your failures, not your mistakes, not your current struggles. You are a work in progress, a story still being written, a life still unfolding. So don't attach your identity to where you are today. Attach it to who you are becoming. Because the moment your identity shifts, your destiny shifts with it. Success grows in silence, one small step at a time. Success is never a sudden event. It is a slow, patient journey made of countless small improvements that quietly stack up over time. People often think winning happens in one big moment, a viral video, a breakthrough opportunity, a sudden rise. But in reality, every big moment is built on thousands of small, consistent actions that nobody ever sees. It's the early mornings when you show up even when you're tired. It's the late nights when you keep working long after motivation is faded. It's the tiny decisions you make daily, choosing discipline over distraction, progress over perfection, growth over comfort. These micro improvements may feel insignificant at first, but each one carries power. Each tiny action pushes you one step further, sharpens your skills, strengthens your mindset, and builds momentum. And slowly, almost invisibly, you evolve into someone capable of achieving what once felt impossible. When success finally becomes visible, people call it luck, talent, or overnight magic. But you know the truth. It was the silent work, the unseen effort, the steady improvement that brought you here. Success is not a finish line you suddenly cross. It's a path you walk every day. And the more you commit to these small daily wins, the closer you get to the life you dream of living. Progress over perfection, the mindset that moves you forward. Perfection looks beautiful from a distance, but when you try to chase it, it becomes a trap that stops you from starting. The truth is, perfection kills momentum because it makes you believe you're not ready, not skilled enough, or not good enough yet. But progress, small, steady, imperfect progress, has the power to move your life forward in ways perfection never can. You don't need the perfect plan, the perfect timing, or the perfect conditions to begin. You just need the courage to take the first step with whatever you have right now. Every expert you admire once started as a beginner, unsure and imperfect, learning as they moved. Growth doesn't come from waiting for the perfect moment. It comes from improving your skills, your mindset, and your actions day by day. When you focus on progress, you build momentum, and momentum becomes your greatest friend. It pushes you ahead on days when you feel low, and it makes your small wins pile up into big breakthroughs. So stop telling yourself, "I'll start when everything is perfect." Instead, start imperfectly, learn along the way, adjust as you grow, and trust that every tiny step is shaping your future. Progress makes you better. Perfection only makes you stuck.
Results speak louder than every excuse. The world may listen to your excuses for a moment, but it will forget them just as quickly. What people truly remember, what they respect, admire, and pay attention to, are your results. Excuses are invisible. They never leave an impact, they never change your life, and they never move your story forward. But results are loud. They speak for you even when you say nothing. They open doors, create opportunities, build confidence, and earn respect. Every time you choose an excuse, you stay exactly where you are. But every time you choose effort, even imperfect effort, you move one step closer to the life you want. It doesn't matter how tough your past was, how unfair your situation feels, or how many obstacles stand in your way, because the world isn't waiting to hear why you can't. Life rewards those who show what they can do despite everything. Your struggles are real, but your power is greater. And the moment you stop explaining your limits and start expanding your actions, everything transforms. Let your results scream so loudly that no one even needs to ask about your excuses. Guard your energy. It shapes the life you live. Your energy is the fuel that drives every thought you think, every action you take,
and every dream you chase. And yet most people give it away so easily to negative people, toxic environments, meaningless arguments, and draining conversations that leave them feeling empty and exhausted. But if you want to grow, succeed, and create a peaceful life, you must protect your energy like your life depends on it, because in many ways, it truly does. The people you surround yourself with either lift you higher or pull you down without you even noticing. A single negative voice can plant doubt in your mind. A toxic environment can kill your motivation. A draining conversation can steal hours of your mental peace. Protecting your energy doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop allowing anything that weakens your spirit or distracts you from your purpose. It means choosing peace over chaos, growth over gossip, and self-respect over pleasing people who don't value you. When you guard your energy, you become clearer, calmer, and stronger. You think better, work better, and live better. Your goals become easier to reach because your mind is no longer fighting invisible battles. Always remember, your energy is sacred. Treat it like something rare and precious, because once it's wasted, you can never get it back. Pain, the teacher that strengthens your soul. Pain often feels like an enemy, something to avoid, something that hurts too deeply, something that makes you question your path. But when you look closer, pain is not here to break you. It is here to shape you. Every struggle you face, every setback you endure, every heartbreak, loss, or failure you experience is silently building a stronger, wiser, more resilient version of you. Pain teaches you what comfort never can. It shows you your limits and then gently pushes you past them. It reveals your strength, your patience, and your ability to rise even when everything inside you feels tired. Pain gives you clarity about who you are, what you want, and what truly matters in your life. When life feels smooth, you rarely question anything. But when life becomes difficult, you start growing in ways you never imagined. Pain builds character because you learn courage. It builds resilience because you learn to stand again. It builds wisdom because you understand life more deeply. You may not choose pain, but you can choose what it turns you into. And if you look back at your journey, you'll notice that the strongest parts of you were born from the moments you thought you wouldn't survive. Pain is not your enemy. It is a tough teacher, but the lessons it gives you stay with you forever.
Growth begins where comfort ends. You grow the most not when life is easy, but when life pushes you into spaces that feel uncomfortable, uncertain, and unfamiliar. Comfort zones are warm, safe, and predictable, but nothing new ever happens there. Every breakthrough, every transformation, every new chapter in your life begins the moment you step beyond what feels comfortable. When you try something new, when you take risks, when you embrace challenges, you activate parts of yourself that were asleep. Your confidence grows, your skills expand, and your mindset evolves. Discomfort is not a sign that you are failing. It is a sign that you are growing. The unknown might feel scary, but it is also the place where your future is waiting for you. If you always choose comfort, you will repeat the same days again and again. But if you choose growth, you will build a life that surprises even you. Remember this, the version of you that you dream of becoming is not sitting inside your comfort zone. It is waiting outside it. Step into the unfamiliar and watch yourself transform. Your routine is the blueprint of your future. Your future is not created in one big moment. It is quietly built every single day through your routine. If you truly want to know where your life is heading, just look at how you spend your mornings, your evenings, and the hours nobody is watching. Your routine reveals your priorities, your discipline, your mindset, and your direction. The truth is simple. Consistency builds credibility, and routine builds destiny. When you repeat small positive actions daily, they slowly shape your habits. Your habits shape your character, and your character shapes your future. A strong routine keeps you aligned, focused, and moving forward, even when motivation fades. But a weak routine slowly pulls you into distraction, laziness, and regret. Every time you choose a productive habit, reading, learning, planning, exercising, creating, you are investing in a stronger tomorrow.
And every time you choose an unproductive habit, scrolling for hours, procrastinating, wasting time, you are silently delaying your dreams. Your future is not hidden in luck, chances, or other people. It is hidden in the things you do daily, repeatedly, without applause. Build a routine that supports your vision, and your life will unfold exactly the way you imagine. Your routine is not just a schedule. It is the script of the life you are writing. The power of focusing only on what you can control. Most of the stress you carry in your mind doesn't come from life itself. It comes from constantly trying to control things that were never in your hands. You worry about people's opinions, outcomes you cannot predict, situations you cannot influence, and events that are already beyond your reach. This invisible battle drains your energy, steals your peace, and keeps your mind stuck in fear. But the moment you shift your focus from what you cannot control to what you can, everything changes. You begin to realize that your real power lies in your actions, your efforts, your responses, your attitude, and your choices. You cannot control what others do, but you can control how you react. You cannot control the future, but you can control your preparation. You cannot control outcomes, but you can control consistency. This simple shift turns chaos into clarity and anxiety into calm. When you stop fighting battles that were never yours, you create space for peace to enter your life. And when you put your full energy into the few things you can control, your habits, your growth, your mindset, you become stronger, wiser, and far more effective. Life becomes lighter because you're no longer carrying unnecessary weight. Freedom begins the moment you stop trying to control everything and start mastering yourself.
Too many people spend their lives chasing approval, trying to fit into the expectations of others, constantly seeking likes, compliments, or recognition to feel worthy. But when you base your self-worth on the opinions of others, you slowly lose touch with who you really are. Your actions, your choices, and even your happiness start to revolve around external validation instead of your own growth. True transformation begins the moment you shift your focus from being seen to becoming better. When you chase improvement instead of approval, you step into your own power. You start learning new skills, correcting your mistakes, refining your habits, and expanding your mindset, not to impress anyone, but to honor your own potential. Validation is temporary. It fades, changes, or disappears altogether. Growth, however, is permanent. It builds resilience, confidence, and the strength to stand tall regardless of what others think. The more you commit to improving yourself every day, the less dependent you become on recognition, and the more unstoppable you become in creating the life you truly desire. Chasing improvement transforms not only your skills, but your identity, your mindset, and your destiny. Small sacrifices, giant results. Big results never come without small, consistent sacrifices. Every successful person you admire has given up something daily, sometimes comfort, sometimes leisure, sometimes the easy choice to move closer to their goals. Sacrifice doesn't mean losing. It means prioritizing your future over temporary pleasures. It means turning off distractions that steal your focus, resisting habits that waste your energy, and saying no to excuses that keep you stuck. Every small act of discipline, every moment you choose effort over ease, adds up over time. One extra hour of learning, one additional step toward your goal, one habit replaced with growth. These small sacrifices compound into massive results that seem almost magical to an outsider. Life rewards those who understand that comfort zones are silent killers of dreams, and that true progress requires deliberate trade-offs. The pain of sacrifice is temporary, but the rewards it builds last a lifetime. When you start making small, consistent sacrifices daily, you create a momentum that pulls you forward, shapes your character, and transforms your future in ways that feel extraordinary but are entirely within your control. Every big dream begins with these quiet, daily choices. Comparison is one of the most dangerous traps for anyone trying to grow. It silently steals your confidence,
clouds your judgment and keeps you stuck in a cycle of doubt and insecurity. The truth is, everyone's journey is different. People start at different points, face different challenges, and move at different speeds. Comparing your Chapter 1 to someone else's Chapter 20 is not just unfair, it's poison. When you constantly measure yourself against others, you lose sight of your own progress, your own efforts, and your own victories, no matter how small. Real growth comes from focusing on your own lane, celebrating your own milestones, and understanding that your journey has its own pace, its own struggles, and its own timing. Instead of wondering why someone else is ahead, channel that energy into improving yourself, learning, and taking consistent steps forward. Every step you take builds your confidence, strengthens your skills, and moves you closer to your goals. Remember, the only person you need to compete with is the person you were yesterday. Stop comparing, start growing, and watch how your life transforms when you focus entirely on your own path.
Your only true competition is yourself. The most important battle you will ever face is not against other people, it is against who you were yesterday. Life is full of distractions, comparisons, and pressures to keep up with everyone else, but true long-term success comes from looking inward and focusing on your own growth. Every single day, aim to become just 1% better than you were the day before. It might feel small, almost insignificant, but these tiny improvements compound over time into massive transformation. Learn a little more, work a little harder, think a little wiser, act a little braver. These incremental steps shape your character, sharpen your skills, and expand your potential. The moment you stop worrying about beating someone else and start focusing on beating your past self, you step into a life of consistent progress and inner peace. Your victories become personal, sustainable, and deeply fulfilling because they come from effort, discipline, and self-mastery. Remember, the finish line is not against others, it is the person you are becoming. Focus on that, improve daily, and you will find that true success is inevitable. Your environment shapes your elevation. The people and environments you surround yourself with have a greater impact on your life than most people realize. Your energy, your mindset, and even your opportunities are influenced by the company you keep and the spaces you inhabit. If you spend your days around negative, unsupportive, or complacent people, their attitudes, doubts, and fears slowly seep into your own mind, holding you back from the growth you deserve. On the other hand, when you surround yourself with individuals who challenge you, inspire you, and push you to become better, your potential expands in ways you never imagined. The right environment acts like fertile soil for your dreams, helping you grow faster, think bigger, and reach higher. Choosing the wrong people or staying in toxic spaces is not just a minor setback. It can delay your destiny, keep you trapped in mediocrity, and drain the energy you need to create your best life. Your elevation is a reflection of your surroundings, so be intentional about where you spend your time, who you listen to, and what energies you allow in your life. When you carefully curate your environment, you set yourself up for consistent growth, unstoppable momentum, and the kind of success that truly lasts. Move in silence. Let your success speak. There is immense power in quiet action. Too often, people announce their plans, boast about their goals, or seek validation before they have even taken meaningful steps. But success doesn't need applause to grow. It grows quietly, steadily, and with consistency. When you work in silence, you conserve your energy, sharpen your focus, and avoid unnecessary distractions from opinions, doubts, or criticism. Every day that you act without needing recognition, you strengthen your discipline and your resilience. The world notices results, not promises, and the louder you speak about what you intend to do, the more your attention is scattered and your momentum diluted. Silence is not weakness, it is strategy. It allows you to concentrate fully, to execute your plans with clarity, and to develop mastery in your craft. When your hard work finally bears fruit, the results will be undeniable. Undeniable in a way that words never could achieve. Let your actions and achievements be the proof, not your announcements. Move quietly, focus relentlessly, and let your success create the noise that speaks for itself.
Self-control, the true measure of strength. Strength is not measured by how loudly you can assert yourself or how quickly you react to challenges. True strength is measured by your ability to remain calm, composed, and deliberate in the face of life's storms. Anyone can react impulsively, lash out, or give in to frustration, but only a few possess the rare power of self-control. The one who masters their emotions, thoughts, and impulses ultimately masters their life. Self-control allows you to think clearly when pressure mounts, to make better decisions when emotions run high, and to act with intention rather than regret. It protects you from destructive habits, toxic relationships, and impulsive mistakes that can derail your future. Every time you pause instead of reacting, reflect instead of complaining, or choose patience over anger, you strengthen an inner muscle that no one can see but everyone feels. Life will test you, people will provoke you, and situations will challenge you. But the moment you learn to control yourself, you become unstoppable. Self-control is not restriction, it is freedom. The freedom to live intentionally, the freedom to choose wisely, and the freedom to create the life you truly want. It is the foundation on which all other forms of success and happiness are built. The grind behind every glory. Success is never as glamorous as it looks from the outside. People see the achievements, the recognition, and the applause, but they rarely see the countless hours of repetitive, often boring work that built that success. Winners understand that mastery is not achieved in a single moment of inspiration. It is built through repetition, discipline, and patience. It is showing up day after day, performing the same small tasks, perfecting the basics, and doing what others avoid because it feels mundane or tiring. Every skill, every habit, every breakthrough comes from doing the work that no one notices until the results finally appear. The grind, the early mornings, late nights, and consistent practice is what separates those who dream from those who achieve. When you embrace this reality, boredom becomes your ally rather than your enemy, because you understand that each repetition is a brick in the foundation of your future. The world will celebrate your success, but you will know the truth. It was built in silence, through patience, persistence, and a relentless commitment to the work that no one else wants to do. That is the real power behind every triumph. Focus is the foundation of a meaningful life. Your mind is the most powerful tool you will ever own, but a distracted mind can never build a life of purpose, clarity, or achievement. In today's world, distractions are everywhere. Constant notifications, endless apps, meaningless videos, gossip, and the opinions of others, all quietly stealing your attention, energy, and time. Every minute you spend scattered across these distractions is a minute you could have invested in building your dreams, improving yourself, or strengthening your skills. Clarity comes when you deliberately cut out the noise and focus on what truly matters. It's about creating boundaries, choosing what enters your mind, and prioritizing your growth over fleeting pleasures. A focused mind sees opportunities others miss, makes better decisions, and consistently moves toward its goals. Focus doesn't just increase productivity, it builds depth, understanding, and wisdom. The more you protect your attention and invest it in meaningful work, the faster you progress and the more fulfilled you feel. Your life will always reflect the quality of your focus. Choose it carefully, guard it fiercely, and you will watch yourself achieve what once felt impossible.
Turn failures into fuel, not burdens. Failures are often painful, but they're not meant to break you. They're meant to teach you, guide you, and fuel your growth. Every setback, mistake, or disappointment carries a hidden message if you are willing to look closely. Instead of letting failure wound you, make it your teacher. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I do better next time? Each lesson extracted is like fuel that powers your journey forward, making you wiser, stronger, and more prepared for the challenges ahead. Those who let failures define them remain stuck, resentful, or fearful. But those who use failure as fuel transform it into momentum. They rise stronger, more determined, and more strategic than before. Remember, success is not about never failing. It is about failing, learning, adjusting, and rising again with greater clarity and resilience. When you treat failures as lessons and fuel, every obstacle becomes an opportunity. Every mistake becomes a stepping stone, and every setback becomes the foundation of a stronger, smarter, and more unstoppable version of yourself. Belief in your worth makes you unstoppable. The moment you truly believe that you deserve more from life, everything changes. Self-worth is not just a feeling. It is the foundation upon which all success, confidence, and growth are built. When you operate from a place of doubt, hesitation, or self-limitation, your actions are cautious, inconsistent, and small. But the instant you start telling yourself, I deserve better, something powerful awakens within you. Your choices become bolder, your focus sharper, and your perseverance stronger. You begin to take actions that align with the life you envision instead of settling for what feels easy or safe. Believing in your worth ignites a fire that makes obstacles feel smaller, setbacks feel temporary, and challenges feel like opportunities. You stop waiting for permission, approval, or validation from others, because you recognize that your life's potential is determined by your own belief in yourself. This belief fuels ambition, drives discipline, and sustains momentum even when motivation fades. When you know your value and act in alignment with it, you become unstoppable. Not because the world changes for you, but because you have finally decided to rise to the level you are truly capable of. Discipline is your unfailing engine. Motivation is fleeting. It comes in bursts, often when you feel inspired, energized, or lucky, but it never stays. If you rely solely on motivation, your progress will be inconsistent, and your goals will always feel just out of reach. Discipline, on the other hand, is the engine that keeps you moving even when motivation disappears. It is the silent force that compels you to show up, do the work, and push forward regardless of how you feel. Winners understand this truth. They don't wait for the perfect mood, the perfect day, or the perfect opportunity. They rely on disciplined action. Discipline turns your intentions into habits, habits into routines, and routines into results. It is the backbone of mastery, resilience, and long-term success. While motivation may give you a spark, discipline keeps the fire burning, steadily lighting the path toward your dreams. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, over excuses, or over procrastination, you strengthen your willpower and move closer to the life you want. Motivation may inspire, but discipline delivers. And that is the reason why the most successful people consistently rise, achieve, and thrive, no matter the challenges they face.
Mindset is the true currency of your life. Your mindset is the most valuable asset you will ever possess, far more powerful than money, connections, or luck. A rich mindset creates a rich future because it shapes the way you see opportunities, solve problems, and respond to challenges. Conversely, a limited mindset confines you to small thinking, fear, and stagnation, no matter how much external wealth or resources you have. The way you think, the beliefs you hold about yourself, and the mental habits you cultivate directly determine your success, happiness, and resilience. Investing in your thoughts is like planting seeds for a powerful and abundant life. Every book you read, every lesson you internalize, every positive affirmation you repeat strengthens your mental capacity and expands your possibilities. A strong mindset allows you to see opportunities where others see obstacles, to take bold action where others hesitate, and to persevere when others quit. It protects you from the influence of negativity and equips you to navigate life with clarity, confidence, and purpose. Remember, wealth is temporary. Possessions can be lost, but a mindset trained for growth, resilience, and abundance will serve you for a lifetime. Nurture it, protect it, and invest in it relentlessly, because your mindset is the real currency that shapes every aspect of your life. Work everyone. Achieve extraordinary. Talent, luck, and opportunity can open doors, but hard work is the engine that carries you through them and beyond. Success is rarely handed to those who wait or wish. It belongs to those willing to put in more effort than anyone else, day after day, when no one is watching. Outworking everyone in the room doesn't just mean doing more tasks. It means being relentless in learning, growing, and pushing your limits, even when it feels exhausting or inconvenient. It means showing up before others, staying later than others, and giving your absolute best when most would settle for good enough. Hard work doesn't guarantee instant success, but without it, success is impossible. Those who outwork, outlearn, and outlast build momentum that becomes unstoppable. Each extra hour, each additional effort, each step beyond comfort adds up, creating an advantage that compounds over time. When you commit to giving more than anyone expects, you not only improve your skills and resilience, but also develop a mindset that is unshakable. Outworking everyone isn't just about labor. It's about dedication, perseverance, and the willingness to invest in yourself more than anyone else is willing to. In that consistent effort lies the path to extraordinary achievement. Confidence is built on self-trust. True confidence doesn't come from applause, recognition, or external validation. It comes from keeping the promises you make to yourself. Every time you set a goal, commit to a habit, or say, "I will do this," and then follow through, you strengthen the bond of trust between you and yourself. This self-trust becomes the foundation of your self-belief. It tells your mind, your heart, and your spirit that you are reliable, capable, and consistent, even when challenges arise or motivation fades. Each small promise kept, waking up early, completing a task, pushing through discomfort adds another layer to your confidence. Over time, these repeated acts of integrity with yourself create an unshakable inner strength that no circumstance or opinion can break. The more you honor your commitments to yourself, the more you believe in your ability to handle life, take risks, and pursue your dreams. Confidence is not loud or boastful. It is quiet, steady, and unwavering, built silently in the moments when you do what you said you would do again and again. Self-trust is the secret that transforms ordinary effort into extraordinary self-belief.
Your circle determines your momentum. The people you spend the most time with shape not only your mindset, but also the speed at which you grow, achieve, and evolve. When you surround yourself with winners, people who are disciplined, ambitious, and driven, you unconsciously absorb their habits, their work ethic, and their way of thinking. Their energy pushes you forward. Their standards raise your own, and their example teaches you what consistent success looks like. On the other hand, when you stay close to negative, complacent, or unmotivated individuals, you slow down without even realizing it. Their doubts, distractions, and lack of action subtly pull you backward, keeping you stuck in mediocrity. Growth, momentum, and achievement are contagious. The right circle accelerates your journey, while the wrong circle drains your energy and clouds your focus. Choosing your company is not just about friendship. It is a strategic decision that determines how fast you progress and how far you can go. Be intentional about who you let into your inner circle, because the people around you either lift you higher or hold you back. Surround yourself with those who challenge you, inspire you, and push you toward your best self. And watch how quickly your life begins to change. Build skills in silence, reap rewards loudly. In life, the true power comes not from bragging about what you can do, but from actually developing the abilities that allow you to thrive. Skills give you freedom, income, confidence, and respect, tangible benefits that last a lifetime. On the other hand, showing off or seeking attention without substance gives you nothing of real value. It might earn temporary recognition, but it won't create opportunities, financial stability, or personal growth. The people who achieve lasting success are the ones who quietly dedicate themselves to learning, practicing, and mastering their craft day after day. They understand that effort, discipline, and persistence are invisible in the moment, but compound into extraordinary results over time. When you focus on building your skills instead of impressing others, you position yourself to handle any challenge, seize any opportunity, and command respect naturally. Mastery becomes your voice, results become your proof, and your life transforms without needing to announce it to the world. Quietly building your skill set is the most powerful investment you can make in yourself, because unlike fame or approval, skills cannot be taken away. They empower you, elevate you, and create a life of true independence and impact. Action turns dreams into reality. Dreams are beautiful, but without action, they remain nothing more than fleeting wishes. Wishing alone, hoping, imagining, or fantasizing does not move you forward, and it certainly does not create results. Every dream, no matter how big or small, requires consistent effort, deliberate choices, and courageous action to become real. Even imperfect action, taken with commitment and persistence, is far more powerful than standing still in comfort, fear, or indecision. Action teaches lessons that no amount of thinking or planning can, revealing obstacles, sharpening skills, and building momentum. It transforms intentions into habits, habits into progress, and progress into tangible outcomes. The world doesn't reward wishes. It rewards those who move, who try, who fail, learn, and try again until they succeed. Dreams demand work, sacrifice, and dedication. They demand that you step forward even when the path is unclear, where the steps are small. The moment you start acting on your dreams, no matter how imperfectly, you stop wishing and start becoming the person capable of achieving what once only existed in your imagination.
Eliminate "I can't" and unlock your potential. The phrase "I can't" is one of the most destructive forces in a person's life. It limits your vision, suppresses your potential, and convinces you that obstacles are permanent barriers rather than temporary challenges to overcome. The truth is, every skill can be learned, every fear can be faced, and every goal is achievable with the right mindset and effort. The only thing truly standing between you and your dreams is the story you tell yourself. The limiting beliefs, doubts, and excuses you repeat over and over until they feel like facts. When you permanently remove "I can't" from your vocabulary and replace it with "I will learn," "I will try," or "I will figure it out," you open doors that were previously invisible. Challenges become opportunities, failures become lessons, and growth becomes inevitable.
Your mind, when trained to believe in possibilities instead of limits, becomes a powerhouse that drives relentless action and unstoppable progress. Every time you push past a fear, learn a new skill, or take a step you thought was impossible, you reinforce the truth that you are capable, resourceful, and resilient. Let go of "I can't" forever, and you will discover a version of yourself that is bolder, stronger, and more unstoppable than you ever imagined. Master your emotions, protect your goals. Life is filled with ups and downs, and it's natural to experience bad days, frustrations, and mood swings. But temporary emotions should never have the power to derail your long-term vision. Your goals, dreams, and ambitions are far bigger than any fleeting feeling, and letting emotions dictate your actions can keep you stuck, frustrated, and far from the life you desire. Every successful person has faced moments of doubt, fear, or sadness, yet they chose to stay committed, disciplined, and focused despite the emotional turbulence around them. Emotions are signals, not commands. They inform you, but they should not control you. When you learn to acknowledge your feelings without letting them override your decisions, you gain mastery over yourself and your life. Consistency, patience, and resilience become your allies, allowing you to make progress even when motivation fades or circumstances feel challenging. Remember, long-term success is built by those who prioritize their purpose above temporary discomfort, who act despite how they feel, and who understand that emotions pass, but the results of consistent effort last forever. Stay committed, focus on your path, and let your goals guide your actions, not your fleeting feelings. Stop proving, start improving. Growth is never fueled by the need to prove yourself to others. It is fueled by the desire to improve yourself for your own life. When you focus on impressing people, seeking validation, or competing for attention, your energy is scattered, your priorities are misaligned, and your potential is limited. True evolution happens the moment you shift your focus inward. When you stop performing for approval and start investing in your skills, mindset, habits, and character. Improvement, not validation, becomes your motivation. Each day that you work quietly on yourself, learn something new, push past your limits, and refine your actions, you strengthen your inner foundation and accelerate your growth. The more you prioritize your own development over external recognition, the more unstoppable your progress becomes, and the more natural success, confidence, and respect will follow. Stop trying to prove your worth to the world. It will always be subjective and fleeting. Start proving it to yourself instead, through consistent effort, self-discipline, and a relentless focus on becoming better than you were yesterday. In that shift lies true evolution and an unstoppable journey toward the life you deserve.
Solutions build success, complaints build nothing. Life is full of problems. Unexpected challenges, obstacles, and setbacks are inevitable for everyone. The difference between winners and losers isn't the presence of problems, but how they respond to them. Losers focus on the difficulties, dwell on complaints, and waste energy worrying about why something happened or who is at fault. Winners, on the other hand, train their minds to seek solutions, to act, and to turn challenges into opportunities for growth. Every problem carries a lesson, an insight, or a chance to innovate, but you can only access it when your attention is on solving, not whining. Focusing on solutions develops creativity, resilience, and confidence, and it builds momentum that moves you past obstacles faster than anyone else. Complaining may feel momentarily satisfying, but it never produces results, progress, or freedom. The winners understand that action and problem-solving are the keys to transformation, while those who obsess over problems remain stuck. By training yourself to ask, "What can I do to fix this?" instead of "Why me?" you shift from victimhood to empowerment. Life rewards solution-oriented thinking, and when you consistently focus on answers, your challenges become stepping stones rather than roadblocks, propelling you toward the success and growth you desire. Consistency outlasts early quitters. The fastest way to fail is to give up before your efforts have a chance to bear fruit. Most people are capable of far more than they realize, but they stop too soon. At the first sign of difficulty, the first failure, or the first moment of discomfort. Success is rarely instant. It is the result of persistent, consistent effort over time. Every expert, every achiever, and every high performer has faced moments where quitting seemed easier than continuing, yet they chose to persist. Consistency, not luck or talent alone, separates those who eventually succeed from those who never reach their potential. Each day you continue to take small, purposeful actions, even when results are not immediately visible. You are building momentum, learning lessons, and strengthening the habits that lead to long-term success. Quitting early may feel like relief in the moment, but it guarantees that your potential remains unfulfilled. The path to achievement is rarely glamorous. It demands patience, resilience, and unwavering commitment. Stay consistent, trust the process, and push past the urge to quit, because the moment you keep going when others stop is the moment you step closer to extraordinary results. Prioritize growth over applause. In life, it's easy to get caught up in seeking attention, praise, or recognition. Applause feels good in the moment. It gives temporary validation and a sense of achievement. But it fades quickly, leaving you chasing approval instead of building lasting impact. True fulfillment and success comes from growth, from the consistent effort you put into becoming a better version of yourself, and from mastering your skills, mindset, and character. When you focus on growth rather than recognition, you invest in what truly matters: your abilities, your resilience, and your potential. Every challenge you face, every lesson you learn, and every step you take towards self-improvement compounds into long-term progress that applause can never replace. Growth is permanent. It shapes your identity, expands your opportunities, and strengthens your confidence, while fleeting recognition leaves nothing behind. When you chase growth, you naturally attract respect, opportunities, and genuine success, not because you sought them, but because you earned them. Make your journey about improvement, learning, and self-mastery, and let the applause, if it comes, be an added bonus, not the goal. Your journey matters far more than anyone's approval, and it is in that journey that your true success is built.
Break patterns, build a new life. Your habits, routines, and patterns shape the life you live today. If you continue doing the same things, thinking the same thoughts, and reacting the same way, your life will stay exactly as it is, predictable, stagnant, and limited. Transformation requires breaking free from old patterns, no matter how comfortable or familiar they feel. Every habit that no longer serves you, every repetitive behavior that holds you back, is a chain keeping you from the life you desire. By intentionally disrupting these patterns, introducing new behaviors, and adopting habits that align with your goals, you signal to your mind and your environment that change is possible. This is not about sudden dramatic shifts. It's about consistent, deliberate actions that replace old routines with new ones, step by step. The life you want cannot emerge from yesterday's choices. It can only grow from new patterns, new strategies, and new ways of thinking. When you break old cycles and start creating better habits, your environment, your mindset, and your opportunities naturally align to support the new life you are building. Change the pattern, and your life will inevitably respond, unfolding in ways you once thought impossible. Become the person your future demands. Your dream life isn't handed to you. It is earned by the person you become along the way. Every goal, every vision, and every aspiration requires a version of yourself that is stronger, wiser, more disciplined, and more resilient than who you are today. Focusing solely on external outcomes without developing the inner qualities necessary to handle them is like building a mansion on weak foundations. It won't last. The key is to consciously work on yourself each day: your habits, your mindset, your skills, and your emotional strength. Ask yourself, what kind of person does my future need me to be?
and then commit to becoming that person step by step, habit by habit, decision by decision. Each act of growth, each moment of self-discipline, and each lesson learned shapes you into the person capable of achieving your biggest dreams. By prioritizing personal development over shortcuts, comfort, or approval from others, you prepare yourself to not only reach your goals, but to sustain and enjoy them fully. Your future life is waiting, and it demands a version of you that is ready to rise, act, and thrive. Focus on becoming that person today, and everything else will follow naturally. Focus on yourself, watch everything else align. The most powerful transformation begins when you shift your focus inward. Money, relationships, career opportunities, and personal happiness are all reflections of the person you are becoming. When you invest in yourself, your mindset, habits, skills, and emotional strength, the world naturally responds. Fixing yourself doesn't mean ignoring the external world. It means strengthening your foundation so that everything else can thrive. The better version of you attracts better circumstances, healthier relationships, and greater opportunities, because your energy, clarity, and confidence radiate outward. Transformation is not about chasing external results. It is about becoming the person capable of handling and creating those results. Every effort you put into self-improvement compounds, subtly reshaping your life in ways you may not immediately notice, until one day you realize that everything around you has changed. Money flows, relationships flourish, doors open, and challenges become manageable, all because you chose to focus on the most important project, yourself. Prioritize your growth, commit to self-mastery, and watch as the world aligns effortlessly with the person you are becoming. Fix yourself first, and everything else will follow naturally. And that's the truth. Everything in this journey, every principle, every lesson comes down to one thing: focus on yourself until you win. Apply these strategies, embrace the discipline, and commit to becoming the person your future needs. The moment you do, everything in your life will start aligning: your mindset, your results, and your opportunities. If you found value in this, make sure to like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and leave a comment telling us which lesson impacted you the most. And don't forget to subscribe to Bite-Size Book English for more powerful audiobook-style book summaries that will transform the way you think, act, and win in life. Your next level starts here, so stay consistent, stay focused, and keep winning. And thank you for listening.